lifted. Difference in equal treatment. June 18th, 2021, you had Boots in the Park in your district at Granite Park. Concerts. Terance Frazier and a promoter put on the concert. There were tremendous problems with Boots in the Park in the neighborhoods. The people complained about all of the parking that took place. That's a fact. That's June 18th. 1 week later, council has a hearing. We're scheduled again to give Terance Frazier $4.3 million that is set aside from a $5 million put into a budget. His bills of $2.3 million were going to be paid. We were going to front him $2 billion on a billboard contract.
City Attorney, is this within the point of order, the scope of this?
Yes, it is.
In consideration of legislative item, yes, you can discuss context.
Councilmember Maxwell, let's let Councilmember Bredefeld go through his
Thank you
speech,
very
and then
much.
the mayor wants to speak, and then we can come back and wrap it up because I think we're there.
Because I am going to get equal treatment here. Not one penny needed to be paid to Terance Frazier, and the only reason why he didn't get $4.3 million was because a letter was received the day before the council meeting from DA Smitkamp saying she was investigating the city council for Brown Act violations related to Granite Park. The next day, $5 million was moved out of the budget, and the item was pulled from the agenda. Of course, the day before this council was poised to give him $4.3 million, he held a fundraiser at his home for a council member. July 29th, Club One came before this council seeking approval for their 51 tables. This is after they spent months paying $40,000 in fees, meeting all of the requirements. 70 people in the chamber came here and said, I want to go back to work for Club One. I've been locked out. By the way, many on this council threw them out of work with lockdowns. Councilmember Maxwell said that Mr. Kirkland made a major error in coming before this council without having held a community meeting. He told them, you need to go knock on doors. Now, he could have told them 3 months ago, before that, to go do a community meeting. He could have told them 2 months ago, 1 month ago. He waited till he showed up here. Being the good operator that he is, he went back. The city manager held a community meeting August 5th with Club One, and the only complaints were about parking related to Boots in the Park. Not about Club One, not about their moving there, and people were very angry about the parking. Now, is that accurate? You held the community meeting.
The number one complaints we got were related to Boots in the Park, but we also received concerns about just people, the traffic and the presence of that in the neighborhood, but the specific things that people were complaining about was Boots in the Park and the parking.
Okay. Again, speaking to equal treatment, August 19th, Club One comes back after the community meeting to council, having complied with the community meeting with essentially no complaints about Club One. Councilmember Maxwell gives the awards 31 tables, not 51, though Mr. Kirkland's operated 51 tables for 12 years and has done so again with a record that is completely unblemished. He's been a phenomenal businessman, a great community leader, and somebody who goes and rescues animals. He's been doing it. It's his passion. This is the man who got the treatment as he did over the last several months. Mr. Maxwell said, I will let you come back in 90 days for your other 20 tables, and we'll see if, quote, you're a good actor, end quote. Though Mayor Dyer said he respected Maxwell's decision and motion, I don't, and I didn't. Same day, August 19th, Mr. Maxwell passes a resolution that skims 12% off of Club One revenues for a community center that he said in his resolution he wanted to go to. The community center does not exist. Oh, and he also said the 12%, which is about $100,000, should go for parks within 1,000 feet of Club One. The only park within 1,000 feet of Club One is the baseball fields that are operated by Mr. Frazier. He put in there that they had to be open to the public free of charge. Currently, they are not. But the deal that was supposed to be 2 months ago where he was getting $4.3 million would have opened up his parks free of charge, and that could change any day with any motion at any time. So that's how he was treated over the last 2 months. So in summary, Club One has had 12-year history under Kyle Kirkland's leadership of outstanding business operations, many years of community service rescuing animals. Revenues from his business operation to the city is over $1 million annually. The city council, one, closed his business during the pandemic and threw out 300 employees. He tries to reopen, pays his $40,000 fees, hundreds of thousands of dollars to refurbish the site in the building at Granite Park. He comes to City Hall, and he and his employees are treated horribly. The 11th hour, he's told, go have a community meeting, which delays his opening for at least 2 weeks and keeps people out of work. Then he comes back, he's allowed 31 tables, which keeps 130 people out of work because of those additional 20 tables he still has not received. Then he's told to come back in 3 months to see if you're a good actor. Then they skim 12% of tax revenues to be held 1,000 feet of Club 1 in order to help one person, Mr. Frazier. That's the only person it can help. In contrast, different treatment, not equal treatment. Boots in the Park, operated by Mr. Frazier on June 18, 21, causes all kinds of parking problems. What happens? Nothing. No community meetings, no restrictions imposed on his operation like they're doing to Mr. Kirkland in terms of 20 tables. No motions to skim off profits off of Boots in the Park, not 12%, not 50%. Mr. Frazier's just given a new date for Boots in the Park on September 10th, 2021. This has been nothing but further harassment of Club 1. Mr. Kirkland has been treated horribly, shamefully, and in a disgraceful manner. And what this motion has done that was finally changed at the last minute meant that he would have to come before this council over the next 5 years and, in essence, have that hanging over his head, that hatchet hanging over his head that he would lose his 20 tables. Now, why would you do that? I mean, we know why the 12% would be done. That's to help out a friend at Granite Park. Well, frankly, I think, and it's my opinion, that this was basically to shake down Mr. Kirkland for donations over the next 4 or 5 years, and that's my opinion, because this makes no sense. And all I can tell you, as I've said for the last 2 years, the stench continues, and it's reflected here, and it's been led by Mr. Maxwell with this atrocious treatment of one of the best businessmen we've had in our city with an unblemished record, who's running a clean operation, and all he wanted to do was open his business, reopen it, and have 300 employees come back. And you, Mr. Maxwell, who've never held a private sector job, wouldn't know about a business if it landed on you, have treated him disgracefully, and you should be ashamed of yourself.